I see. So it's not recording.
Now it is. I just
Now it
started.
is, and so all right. So if we were doing this in front of an audience, you'd have to hit that.
Yeah, the start and stop broadcast. Yeah,
Now where is that button?
it's at the very bottom of the screen, uh, where it says like live and that kind of stuff. I don't know if yours is the same way. I don't know.
No, I don't see that. Is it like in the maybe the control room?
No, I mean that might only be for the admin because I'm
Okay.
not sure one all the
So
presenters.
you're the admin. I'm the presenter.
Yeah,
I got you.
so that might be only something that the admin sees. I'm not quite sure.
All right. This is a thought that I have. Um, is maybe what we should be recording is, or at some level, I don't know exactly how we want to do it. We could do like a staff training thing or something like that. But I almost think we ought to take your webinar guide that you
Mhm.
and Harshita wrote and do a webinar of how to use the webinar jam. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. We could start it now. I don't see why we couldn't start it now. It's recording, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, we
um,
we kind of did something like that a little bit the first time
oh,
on
you
the
did?
first video, but yeah, something kind of similar. But that was the first time we did the webinar, used the webinar jam system, and me and her were having some issues as well. So
Okay. Yeah, and obviously it's not working perfectly for me, given that, I can just barely hear you.
yeah,
Um, but at least it's working, so it's
yeah.
not shut off like we had last week.
Mhm.
Um, well, do you want to start that? Maybe what we can do is I can. Oh, but you know what? The perfect thing to do would be to screen share, right?
Yeah,
Can you pull that up on your screen share?
yeah, yeah. I can. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
And because I want to run. I think the purpose of that for me would be twofold. One is that somebody else can come back and look at this and say, okay, this is these guys walking, and we're not necessarily ready to do it right now, record it maybe, but
Yeah,
this can be a dry run. This is a dry run, but I think what we should do is do that and have it um, then available to anybody that wants to come back and use the system. So we need to polish it. It's not. I don't want to necessarily.
Mhm.
We're not. What we're doing today is not going to be ready for prime time. But I'd like to get to the point where it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it might take us 3 or 4 to do it. I don't know, but and maybe it'll require some editing. Can you edit these things?
I'm pretty sure you can. I mean, if I have to, I might have to download it off of YouTube, but then upload it back onto YouTube.
Okay.
I'd have to look into that.
So you
Here it
down.
is. Like, I'd have to go onto YouTube, and I believe I can download a video off of YouTube. And then I'd have to open up the editing program, and
Right.
then edit that, and then upload it back onto YouTube. Would be the way I would have. I would think I would have to do
Yeah.
it.
Now, one thing I'm thinking here, I was thinking out loud, is that this tool is fine for presenting audio, obviously, and let's say PowerPoint or anything like that, any
Mhm.
kind of file, screen share type documents or websites or whatever. It's not so great for I mean, we might be able to get it better, but it doesn't seem like it's so great for presenting speakers, speaking, only because the video quality sort of lags behind the speaker. You know what I mean? Like for example, I watch you speak, and it's like remember old Godzilla movies back in the day,
Yeah.
where you'd hear the voice and then the mouth would open after 2 minutes later or 2 seconds later. And that's kind of what it's like. So I don't know that it's necessarily
Well,
like that having people's faces on there is the best use of this technology. I think seems to me a better use is like let's take your guide, put that on the screen. You know, you might have an introductory. Maybe the way to do it is you have some sort of a video done that's pre-done. No, we're going to do it professionally, right?
yeah.
Have a video that is done not on the webinar, that is taken separately by a different type of camera, and then have that video inserted as an introductory video to the program, or inserted in certain spots in the program. So in other words, if we're going to do the webinar guide as our webinar, then you would take sort of an introductory video that you shot off screen, right, off of the Webinar Jam software, and then insert that in there as an introductory to the program. Hey, this is Ralph Dyer, Harshita Jain, Steven Zelina. We're going to introduce to you Webinar Jam, and this is our guidebook as to how to use it, etc. And then you have the guidebook pops up on the screen, and you start walking through that, or a PowerPoint, or however you want to do it. Because it seems to me the actual video that you take off the Webinar Jam program itself is not that good.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's completely. I'm not sure if it might be like a mixture of some of the system plus some of the like sometimes internet connection type stuff like that. Like
Yes.
you're having like the connection issues.
Sure.
So I mean, I don't know if it's that or what exactly it is. I've noticed that sometimes too, but I'm not sure what exactly.
Yeah. I got you. It might be that it's just fine. It's just our connections aren't that great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, which I know in my room, which if we're doing, sometime I'm gonna have to start doing it outside, but I mean outside of my room, but like in my room right now, I'm not getting like the strongest connection type thing, so I might get better connection like in the living room or something like that.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I tell you what. Then for now, let's do this. Let's do a dry run. If you can screen share that guidebook.
Yeah, I'm trying to open it right now. I'm opening it.
And I think the point is we need to get that up there and we need to be using every single tool in the toolbox here, and then.
Can you hear me?
Second nature to us to do this, and to the point where we can put webinar with all the bells and whistles. And,
Yeah.
you know that someone's going to actually.
Yeah, you're kind of
maybe
picking
pay
up a
for it,
little bit.
you know? Let's put it this way. If you were to create a really slick webinar, hey, this is how you use Webinar Jam, and you can go to Webinar Jam and say, hey, look what we just did. You know, you want to license this, you know, that kind of thing. If we really get to that point, then we'd have something. And I think we can. I really do. I don't think there's any reason we can't.
No, I don't think why we can't either.
Frankly, the only issue why we might not be able to is just the quality of our voice quality right now is lagging, and I don't know if that's just a connection issue or what.
It might be
for me, it's
connection issues.
volume. What's that?
Yeah, and I'm saying it might just be connection issues right now, which we would be able to fix. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Okay, it's opening right now.
Are you there still?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it
Okay.
open. I'm on a different computer, so I'm trying to open it a different way right now.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm about to do. I gotta open it up right
I
now.
got logged off, and
Oh, you did?
but now I came back in and I get the chat and everything on the side, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. Let me make sure this is the right one. Okay, here we go. Okay, it should be up now.
Oh. Can you make that take up the whole screen, or is that?
Yeah, it should. Is that better? Jim, Ralph, you there?
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that better or is that?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, I hear you better now. What, did you just do something different? Yes,
No,
can you
no,
hear me?
no. I hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, good.
Can you
I
hear me?
actually hear you. I hear you better now than I did before. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know if there's a delay or something because I say, can you hear me? And you don't respond until about 3 seconds later.
Uh, is this
So
better?
I don't know
Is
what's
this
going on.
screen
But
share better? Or...
yeah, the screen share is fine, and I can actually, I could hear you before, so I don't know if you did something different. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you, but I don't know if you're hearing me at the
Yeah.
same time I'm speaking or on a delay.
I I I can hear you when you're speaking, so I don't know what my screen is doing right now.
Black and white, off and on, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm talking. That's what I mean.
Now, is that happening on your computer screen or only on the Webinar Jam screen?
That's not happening. Let me try something else. Let me change something that I changed and see if that. Does this still do that? Oh no, it's not in there.
Look, oh,
Yeah, now I don't
it's
see
on and
any.
then it goes off. And what's that?
Now I don't see anything on my screen.
I don't either.
Hmm.
Oh, there it is. It came back. Oh, that's
Yeah, is it on now?
it's back on now. Yep.
Okay, I'll just keep it like
See
that then.
now. It's okay to be you. Now you're scrolling down, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So this is my thought, and I don't know if we're going to be able. I think we should start
I don't know. Your voice is kind
a
of.
few pages. At least.
Your voice is kind of breaking up.
My voice isn't
Like it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it.
computer. Is it sort of breaking up like on a computer, a digital kind of computer way, like kind of?
Yeah, kind of something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not me. That's not how I all right. This is my thought. Can you hear me when I say that?
Yeah.
All right. I start to do this in 5, 10 pages, whatever we get into, and then sort of play it back. We're recording now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's my thought. Let's do a few pages of this. Let's use a few of the tools, have it all recorded, and then play it back and see what it looks like. I think, because that's the only way we're going to get any feedback is to sort of play with this thing for a little while, see what it looks like. Because here's the thing: the goal of this exercise is for us to get to the point where this foolproof. We're able to do a professional video that somebody to actually pay money for. So
Yeah.
the only way we're going to get to that level, and we're nowhere near that. The only way we're ever going to get to that level is if we know this thing in and out. Um, so I
Trying to get down somewhere. Are you there? Ralph, are you there? Oh, now you're in here twice.
hello. Oh,
Now you're in here twice.
you have two of me.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird because I got logged off. I got disconnected, and then I reconnected, and when I was you didn't hear me say, "Oh crap" or anything like that, did you?
No.
Okay, because I was wondering maybe if you see me twice, maybe I didn't get disconnected. Although my screen said I'm disconnected. It said it said the video call is hung up. You don't want to reconnect or whatever. So I had to go back and reload. So anyway, I can't see the document on the screen anymore. Did you take it off?
Yeah. I know why that's doing that.
There it is.
Whenever I go back to the Webinar Jam website, that it takes the document off the screen. That's why it's doing that.
All right. So this is but I don't know how far I got in, how much you heard, but my thought is, what I was just saying is, we need to learn every tool, and you and I at least need to be able to do this thing where it's second nature, where it's back of our hand type familiarity with all the tools.
Yeah.
So I think we need to record however many pages we decide to record today, and then stop it and review it, see what it looks like. That's just so we have feedback. We can see for our own selves what we did good, what we did poorly, what looks good, what looks like crap. I mean, to me right now, I would want the document to be full screen somehow, and I know there's a way to do that. I know that we tried to do that before, it didn't.
Here, full screen.
Made it go like crazy. Right?
Did it?
Made it go like endless loop there. But for now, I mean, let's just do it the way we're able to do it, which is just to take what's on the screen and read through it and record it. Use some of the tools.
Loop.
What's that?
Is it still doing the English loop?
No, it's not doing it now, but it's not full screen either. All I see is this. It's takes up 2/3 of the screen.
I had it set up as full screen. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I could see your where you clicked on it, but it didn't do anything. It didn't make any difference on the webinar screen. Still was same size. Now it's actually gone. It's disappeared.
It has.
Now it's back.
Okay.
I can see the little tab on the top on the left-hand corner that says full screen, but it doesn't actually do it. So.
It went. I don't know because it went full screen on my computer. So.
What'll be interesting is if this is being recorded, what does it look like on the recording?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if it looks different to me than it does to you, then what does the recording, is that going to show what you're seeing or what I'm seeing?
I don't know. We'll have to look at that and see.
All right, so that's what we'll do. But let's do this, okay? Let's do a few pages.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll see where we go. I'll start, and maybe what we'll do is, I can let you take over after a page or two or whatever, and we'll kind of go through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So this is the user guide to set up and deploy company webinars on the platform Webinar Jam. The date of this report this guide was created on April 8th, 2012 by Steven Zelina. By the way, is your name pronounced Zelina or Zelina?
Zelina.
Okay, Stephen Zelina and Harshita Jain. This guide will act as a training and implementation manual for both creating and launching webinars using the company's Webinar Jam platform. Webinars are an important part of our communications to our clients, and the guidelines must be followed exactly so our conversions remain high and our brand image isn't compromised. If you read this manual and perform each step as outlined, you'll be able to create and successfully launch a LifeMaps webinar sales campaign or company training session. Our objective is to provide clarity and transparency, thereby enabling everyone, including entry-level associates, to launch a webinar using this powerful webinar platform. If you find there are sections of this manual that don't provide you with absolute clarity and constrain your ability to launch a campaign, please make suggestions to update or modify the specific section that is causing you confusion. The purpose of this guide is to enable us to create the most professional webinars possible while maintaining quality and consistency, while converting prospects to clients at the highest rate possible. This training manual will be continuously upgraded to include links to all digital assets required for branding, stock photos, video clips, and more. I wish I brought my glasses, by the way, but I didn't. Please be certain to follow directions and adhere to the company's guidelines so that we don't create any additional liability for our and a successful program. What is a webinar? A webinar is an online service that allows conferencing events to be shared with remote locations in a live or pre-recorded format for interactive conferences or online workshops. Webinars allow multicast communications from one sender to thousands of attendees simultaneously via web. They can also be accessed by smartphone, offering data messages, video, and video with IM chat to be shared simultaneously across geographically dispersed locations. Applications for webinars include meetings, training events, lectures, or short presentations from any computer. Other typical features of a web conference include slideshow presentations, where images are presented to the audience, and markup tools and a remote mouse pointer are used to engage the audience while the presenter discusses slide content. You know, and maybe when we get to this to the point where we actually want to make this for broadcast use, we stop here and we say, okay, slideshow presentations are such and such, and then we actually have an example of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then VoIP, real-time audio communication through the computer via use of headphones and speakers. Web tours, where URLs, data from forms, cookie scripts, and session data can be pushed to other participants, enabling them to be pushed through web-based logins, clicks, etc. This type of feature works well when demonstrating websites where users themselves can also participate. And again, we'd stop here and have a web tour, a brief 2-second, whatever. Meeting recording, where presentation activity is recorded on the client side or server side for later viewing and or distribution. Whiteboard with with annotation, allowing the presenter and or attendees to highlight or mark items on the slide presentation or simply make notes on a blank whiteboard. Text chat, for live question and answer sessions limited to the people connected to the meeting. Text chat may be public, echoed to all participants, or private between two participants. Polls and surveys allows the presenter to conduct questions with multiple choice answers directed to the audience. Screen sharing, desktop sharing, application sharing, where participants can view anything the presenter currently has on their screen. Some screen sharing participants allow for remote desktop control, allowing participants to manipulate the presenter's screen, although this is not widely used. That's actually interesting. How you can have the participants view anything. So in other words, that's what you have here. We're screen sharing here, but you're saying some screen sharing applications allow for remote. So the actual, when you say the participants can manipulate the presenter screen, that means the attendees.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's what they're saying.
Interesting. I don't know how that works. Why do we use webinars? LifeMaps uses webinars as a powerful communication tool to sell our product to the masses, using both live and evergreen pre-recorded events that are launched on demand. These webinars are instrumental to build our list quickly and provide great platform for company training. Webinars are used for consumer direct and business-to-business customer acquisition. These webinars are instrumental in maintaining a clear and consistent message to our audience, whereby we follow a proven successful blueprint for webinar creation and delivery. Do's and don'ts in a webinar. Following the best practices will elevate your webinar registration and attendance conversion rates, helping to preserve your promotion and campaign investments. Registration landing page. Use the event details page as your landing pad, especially if people are touching down on your registration site. My eyes are, this is really small on my screen.
Yeah.
So I can barely read.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to start reading?
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to start with registration landing page?
Sure.
Do use the event details page as your landing pad, especially if people are touching down on your registration site from a brief email or banner ad. This event detail page is your chance to expand on topic and specific learning the prospective registrants can plan to take away. If potential registrants are coming to your registration microsite well informed from a very detailed web page, pushing them right to the registration form makes sense. Whoa.
What happened?
It went to the top when I pushed the down arrow, so
okay.
Down.
How about we do this? I think that's probably fine. We could keep reading, but let's try to incorporate. We're screen sharing now. What other tools can we maybe bring in now to demonstrate some of these things? Like demonstrate. Let's do like a poll. Let's do Q&A, etc.
Okay, let me do a poll.
So, in other words, if we were going to do this now, well, actually, I take that back. Maybe what we ought to do is just keep going, and then we can, or let's get to a point where some of these tools are demonstrated in the guidebook, and then we'll just do those on screen.
I just created a poll.
Because this thing's very long, and it would take us a long time to read through this whole deal.
Yeah.
It might take hours. I think what we would need to do, actually, is come up with a shorter version of this, a condensed version of this guide that's designed for a webinar presentation.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Parts of this, me and Harshita did. The majority of it, me and Harshita did. And then, like, the table of contents, Jim did. So
the table of contents is shorter, you mean?
Yeah, I think the table of contents is 11 pages. And then all the other stuff that me and Harshita did, I believe, is 44 pages.
Okay.
And that's mostly the images and all that stuff as well.
Right.
Trying to get down to where that was.
So I think the point is, or the question is, how do we? What I want to do is take the webinar guide and create this is how you create a webinar.
Yeah.
Right? A webinar on webinars. And So we need to may require. I think it requires that we sort of create a script, right? We create a script from this webinar guide.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of it, there's not that many steps.
I'm sorry?
There's not that many steps. There's a lot of steps within steps, and also a lot of pictures is what it is.
Right. Okay. Well, that's fine. Then. So you're saying like the stuff we were reading, that was the stuff that Jim created. Those first 11 or so pages was your table of contents, if you
Yeah.
will. So that's sort of a summary of everything, and that. So you're saying we could actually use the stuff that you and Harshita created that's already here, without having to redo it, reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
I believe we can. I mean, everything that we have in here is trying to just think of something. Yeah, because the stuff me and Harshita did, I guess, is from what it looks like it's 37 pages. But I know a lot of the space that takes up.
Yeah, a lot of graphics.
Yeah, a lot of pictures and stuff of screenshots of the things.
Right. Right. I know. I remember looking through it and saying, yeah, I remember when I first saw it, I said, wow, 49 pages. Oh my God, it's going to take me hours. And it didn't take me that long at all because it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not long, it just, with all the graphics and all the steps within the steps is what takes up a lot of the space.
Well, then maybe let's do this. Let's flip to that, all that stuff start, whatever is the last 30, 40, 36, whatever number of pages it is. And, well, that will walk us through the use of each and every one of the tools in there, right?
Yes, it's on this one right now is how to, like, go through the steps of setting up the webinar jam. I know
Right.
I know we were working on one. I don't know if I have it or if I haven't got, or if, I don't know if, I think Harshita sent me one with all the tools and everything once we get inside the Google Hangout area.
Okay.
Which is, I know we created a manual to do that as well.
I'm sorry, a manual to do.
To do the once we get into the webinar jam room, like the Google Hangout,
Yeah.
all the tools and everything. Once we get into that, I know we were taking screenshots and creating a webinar for that, a manual for that as well. And I think I have. I know I did the left side and she was doing the right side. So I have to get that from her, I think, still.
All right. Well, let's. I think let's see. The plan should be. What should the plan be? I think the plan should be. If we have it already, then we'll just use what we have. But we want to create a webinar that's basically how to create a webinar. We want to put this guidebook on the webinar as a webinar.
Yeah.
And that's whether it's this exact version, reading from it and then demonstrating the various tools, or it's something else. That's what we need to kind of figure out. But let's try to figure it out right now if we can.
Yeah, or we could, like, also, one thing we could do kind of is having one person read it in the screen share, but then also having someone on the Google, the Webinar Jam page.
Yes.
And, like, doing, like, the polls and that kind of stuff and doing the chat and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. No, exactly. Now, in order to do that, though, do you have to be in the same place on the same computer, or can you do it like we're doing it now?
Yeah, we can do it now. I mean, like say you're in the Google, like my screen's just hooked on. Right now I'm just on the document page. I'm not even on the internet.
Yes.
Like I'm just looking at the document.
I see
Like
what you're saying. So
uh,
what we would need to do then is I just print it out and read from. Let's say it's me being the speaker and you're doing the computer work. I would have I'd have a the paper I'd have in front of me and I'd be reading it online when you'd be walking through the various things so the attendees are going to hear me and they're going to see you manipulating the screen.
yeah, I could be creating a poll or going through like the offers and stuff like that as you're talking about it.
Gotcha.
So that's one way we could do it, so that they while we're talking about it, someone else can be in the room actually doing that tool as well.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. Does that make sense? That sounds like a plan. I think that sounds a good plan. Right?
Yeah, I mean that way they
Uh,
get the best of both things. They can.
oh, your voice kind of went in and out there. Are you there? I think I lost you.
Like the webinar, like so they can get the best of both
Hello?
ways. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up there really badly for a few minutes or a minute or two
Yeah,
there, and now you're back. But
that's what.
um, go ahead. Can you hear me, Stephen? Yeah, you're gone. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, you keep going in and out. I mean, you're going out. You're like I can hear you, and then I can't for like 15 seconds. So I don't know what's going on, but um, but well, then you're kind of strong now. But now I think that's the idea. So to summarize, we take the guidebook. We take we have to what we have to decide on is what highlight. Like how these sections of the guidebook are what I'm going to read. Let's say, while simultaneously you
yeah,
are operating the screen and demonstrating those things that I'm reading about. And I'm
uh-huh.
watching the screen while you do that so I can, coordinate what you're doing.
Yeah,
Um, that sounds like a good plan. Let's try that. I think, and then we can again. I think we do that. We record it, and then we go back and look at it and say, okay, this works. This is great, and we need to fix this. That kind of thing, right?
yeah,
Um, all right. So let's. What do we do then? Do we take your guidebook? Let's try to. Can we start that right now? Do you think? Or
yeah, we can.
all right, I can pull up your guidebook separately because I have that on my, and I would pull it up separately because I don't want to read it from off of Webinar Jam. It's too hard to read. What happened? Where is that thing? Where is that? Didn't you sent it to me on Skype, right? There it is. Hold on. Okay, I have it. I have it. Can you hear me, Stephen? Hello?
Yeah,
Okay, now you can hear me.
I hear you.
I
Can
couldn't
you
hear
hear
you
me?
there. I could. I couldn't hear you for a second. Now I can. Yeah. Um. All right. So I'll pull up I have the webinar guide in front of me right now on Microsoft Word, but I can.
Yeah, that's just something I'm gonna need to look into to see what we can do.
We're just
Ralph,
hello,
hello.
you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to try to figure out if I can figure out these audio issues and then we can do it, or do you want to try doing it now?
Um,
Since it seems like we'll keep on going in and out and stuff.
yeah, we can try to figure that out, or we can. My thought was, why don't we do like one page? Just see how it goes with one page. So then we have that recorded, and then let's take a look at that, and then we can try to figure out the audio issues and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah,
Can you hear me though? I mean, is it working well enough that you can actually hear me
yeah. I
right
can
now?
hear you. Sometimes you're like breaking in and out, and then sometimes it's kind of like a robot kind of voice type thing.
All
They,
right. Well,
yeah.
then let's. All right. What do you want to do then? You want to try to figure that out, and then.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
let's try figuring it out so it's not like choppy and everything, and then we can do it.
all right. All
So,
right. There's that. There's that, and then there's also when we take your guide, where do we start, and what parts of it are we gonna start on like page 17 where it seems to be, you know, we've moved away from the table of contents. Is that where we start?
do you see 17 or 18?
17 on my screen on the Word version of the document.
Yeah, it might be 17. Yeah, that's right.
The bottom of 7. Oh, it's right at the end of 17,
Yeah,
beginning of 8. Yeah. Um,
yeah, that
so
would like in the general section. Yeah, that would probably be a good place to start. Just start at the beginning and
so,
work our way down.
so I think what we need to do is introductory to that, an introduction before that, and then say so an introduction. Say this is maybe it's the first page of the whole thing where it says, you know, what Webinar Jam
Yeah,
is, that kind of thing, and then we go right down to page 17. So that's the two things we need to do is figure out the audio issues, and then really we can just, I think it won't be hard to do come up with an introductory to this, and then start on page 17,
mhm.
and then it'll be you working the screen and me reading.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Well, when do you want to try to do that?
Um, we can either do it tonight or we could do it tomorrow morning.
Um, what time tonight? And
Anytime where you're available.
I get my door. I think maybe it's best just to try it in the morning.
Okay, that's fine.
Um, 9 o'clock.
That's fine. Yeah, 9 o'clock's fine.
All right, 9 o'clock. Let's do it. Let's do that then. Let's do it for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. What I'll do tonight is I'm just worried about I hope we don't have the audio issues, but it is what it
I
is.
think I can pretty much get it solved.
All right. All right. And I'll come up with a basic sort of script
Okay.
to do this, and that's what I'll work on then. And it's not going to be hard because we already have it here. It's just really kind of piecing together an introduction to this
Yeah.
thing. But I want to read well and look good, so
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. We'll do that, and you recorded what we did so far, right?
Yeah, I've recorded everything. Everything's on the YouTube page.
All right. I'd like to at least see that to some extent, just to listen to it, so I can hear how it sounds and everything.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay,
So that's on the
I'll send you that link on Skype and Yaml.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Stephen. I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. Yep.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.